I loved you, and I'm not ashamed of what you once meant to me, but you were asking me to step away from the church.
No. The church stepped away from me, and I'm not the only one. Every year, I watch hundreds of kids flock to the city looking for what they lost after the church threw them away. That's what your church does. That's what your church did to me.
We're back with Billy Porter, and that was a powerful scene from the latest episode of Pose, where Billy's character, Pray Tell, who's dying of AIDS, goes back to his hometown to face his family and his church, an upbringing very familiar to Billy. Billy, so much, though, of your journey before Pray Tell, I think about this diagnosis and what Pray Tell says in that scene of this following, combined with that trauma of childhood. How were you able, Billy, to illuminate really in the way that you have with all of this heaviness?
They used to call me Little Preacher Man when I was growing up in Pittsburgh in the Pentecostal church, because they saw the calling on my life. They understood that.
There you are.
They understood that. I preached my first sermon when I was 10 or 11, and I said, "Mommy, it's not that." She said, "What, son?" I said, "It's not that. I don't know what it is, but it's not that."
But there were others who saw this. They thought this child has this commanding presence. He has this thing. What is it?
Right.
And there were adults who led you into this idea that maybe it's a preacher, maybe it's...
That's all they knew. That's the only language that was available to my community.
But this was in conflict with what you were feeling
My queerness.
inside.
Yes.
When did you first even hear someone within the church, which was the bedrock of your family, reference this queerness?
Well, I can remember two specific times. First was in kindergarten. I was sent to a psychologist every Wednesday after kindergarten.
Why were you being sent?
Because I was a sissy. And everybody was afraid of that. Afraid of my mannerisms. Oh, he wants to play with dolls. Oh, he wants to play jacks. Something's wrong with him. He needs to be fixed. That's the beginning of the messaging that you're getting when you're 5 years old. Within a year, my mother had met and married my stepfather, who proceeded to sexually molest me from the time I was 7 to the time I was 12. And to me, well, these are my man lessons, right? And then I'm sitting around the dining room table, and the first account of HIV comes across, and they start talking about homosexual. And then everybody at the church starts talking about homosexual. The abomination, you're going to hell, you're going to this. AIDS is God's punishment. And I'm like, wait, what is homosexual? And I actually looked it up, and I realized, oh, shoot. I've been engaging in homosexual acts. So not only am I going to hell, but I'm going to die of AIDS doing it. This is 12 years old.
You're 12 years old.
I'm 12 years old putting all this stuff together in my own head.
I know how close you are with your mother and your sister. Did anyone else know that you were being molested?
No.
Have you ever told anybody?
Well, that's the hard part. And that's the complicated part, because predators have their way.
Yeah, of course.
That's it's like so much so to the point where it was like, I thought that I did it. I thought that I was in control of it, because when I realized that it was me they were preaching about from the pulpit, I just said, I don't want to do it anymore. And it stopped. And then there was a 4-year period where I just didn't remember. Compartmentalizing muscle, disassociation muscle. And I looked around at everybody around me and was like, Y'all don't see this?
Did you feel unprotected in your childhood?
Completely unprotected. And I say this too, and this is a weird thing, and this is a controversial thing, and I know it's gonna be controversial. The violence that was my initial index trauma had to happen so that I could have the presence of mind by 11 years old to know that I needed to get the hell out of there.
Out of where?
My community, my surrounding, my family, everything. I had to get out. I had to get out, period.
More with Billy Porter after the break. We're back with Billy Porter, who is bravely revealing today that he's lived with the secret of being HIV positive for the past 14 years. Billy's sister, Mary Martha, had this to say about their journey together. Let's play that.
I love my brother very much. Billy told me that he was HIV positive. There were tears, and he was thinking that he had ruined his whole entire life. I just held him, and we had a pact. The pact was we would never tell mommy, that our mother would die and never know. We grew up in Pittsburgh in the Pentecostal church, which at times was very ostracizing to him because he was gay. Being told that you are an abomination, you are not what God wants, you are going to go to hell. Over the years, people will call my mother and say some of the most outrageous and hurtful things about my brother. My mother was ostracized. But what has been so great and I think so beautiful about my mother is her willingness to understand her child. It took some time. She was on board for me being gay. She finally got it, but not HIV. When you love someone, you never want to see them in pain. You don't want to see them hurt. And I'm a fixer. I've been a fixer my whole entire life, and I can fix anything. And this, unfortunately, really wasn't anything that I could fix. The secret was eating away at him. Not so much about if he was going to die or not. It was not being able to tell our mother. There's something about a mother's love. Sons and mothers, that's a very, very special relationship. Billy just thought that it was going to just be too devastating for her. It ate away at him, and I saw it eating away at him.
She saw it.
Yeah.
But it goes further than these 14 years of not telling her about the HIV diagnosis. It's the abuse in the home. It's what you told me, just feeling like you had placed shame on her because you love her so much and she loves you.
She took the hits.
Ugh.
You know, she took the hits from a community of people who think it's okay
What did she...
to tell mothers to not love their children.
And that's what she was told.
And that's what she was being told.
Your sister talked about people calling your mother and taking out their
Homophobia.
homophobia and their hatred
Yes.
of you and people being gay on her.
Yes.
What did that do to her and the relationship with you?
She had dreams that she was never able to even think about pursuing. So she had a space in her heart and in her soul for her children to go and attain every dream they ever wanted to. And I think that's what saved us all. You know, because she was able to go, oh, that's my child's dream. And he ain't hurting nobody. You know,
Your sister said it took her time to get there.
Yeah, it took time. It took time.
How did you feel watching her evolve? Not I know it's so simple to go to the darkest of those days.
Yeah.
But when you see she's trying.
I will just go to the example of when I told her. When I finally told her I was HIV positive, which was maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago now. Since 2007, I told her and she said, son, I love you. I will always love you. I have always loved you. None of this matters. I just want to know that you're healthy. I was like, I'm healthiest. I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I'm a Black man that has to go to the doctor every 3 months. Like, I'm the healthiest I've ever been. You know, but the thing she said to me was, stop doing this, son. Please stop doing this. I know that I didn't know how to be the mother that you needed me to be at the beginning of this journey, but it has been decades now. I need you to stop this.
What did she want you to stop?
Stop hiding from her. Stop withholding from her. She said you spent 14 years with this by yourself for no reason. That is what being a Christian means. That is what it is. And I meant it when I said it in my Tony Award speech. The world could use her as an example of what it means. You're going to throw God in my face, then really do it.